We talk a little bit about how inventories are going. I know a lot of starter concessions right now. Starter concessions are going strong for houses. I've seen like my contracts. I think most of them have starter concessions. But what about local? Like, what do you have on? What is going on in Dallas? What's the sauce in Dallas?
What's the sauce, man? The sauce in Dallas. I mean, just in general, dude. It's either you get a concession or they try to bribe you with other materialistic things too. I've seen them trying to throw in like a washer and dryer instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
we get you a fridge, we get you this. In my opinion, cash is king. Give me that cash discount, I'll take it all day.
Yeah.
I had too much sauce. Audemars heel blow now. That's too much sauce. That's too much sauce. Got too much sauce. That's too much sauce. I got too much sauce. Protect Philippe, the plain one. That's too much sauce. Got diamonds on all of my fingers. That's too much sauce.
Yeah, all of my diamonds they shine. Haters like
Yo, what's the sauce podcast? My name's Carlos.
This Aaron with Subs Funding. Well,
We're going to talk a little bit about real estate. This is our first podcast ever doing it. Sorry if you don't cancel me if you catch me talking Spanglish. I do it all the time. Can't help it. But we'll be talking about kind of a little bit of real estate. Obviously, we want to bring some important news out to light, and also want to talk about kind of what we're seeing out there and what people are struggling with now. Things that we can do to overcome kind of what these people are. The borrowers are facing. So Aaron will give a little bit more detail as to the loan side of things.
yes, and also one of the things that we wanted to cover, since we're young people working on real estate. I'm just 32, but I've been doing this for 10 years, so I have an idea of how things work.
We're
I
getting
know
up there.
we're getting out there, dude. But
I don't know about young anymore.
But the thing is, like, I feel that I have a lot of expertise that I can share with you. A lot of my borrowers right now are, younger couples, like people that are our age pretty much, that are trying to get ahead and trying to buy a home. So, this podcast is for you guys.
Yeah, we'll be talking about local events too. We're going to make this very laid back. It's not going to be all real estate. That stuff's boring, to be honest. Who really just wants to listen about real estate stuff for like 10 minutes straight? But we'll obviously talk about what's important. I mean, rents ain't coming down. If you thought about buying anytime soon, what kind of position are you in right now? Are you ready to go? If not, then you got some work to do. I mean, that's just reality of what it is that you got to do to get yourself in a better situation to be able to compete with people that sold a year ago that are sitting on some cash and are finally ready to buy. How can we get ahead of the curve? So we'll be talking about a little bit of that stuff as you tune in through this podcast. It's going to be a lot of info thrown out at y'all. We're going to talk a little bit about some local events, what's coming, kind of.
Yeah, everything around DFW, honestly. But yeah, let's get it going. The first section that we want to talk about is the market update. We're trying to get this to be a weekly thing. So I'm gonna talk about what happened last week. So pretty much what happened. We got a couple of inflation reports that came high. Right now the market is probably at the highest it's been for rates, at least in 2024. But we expect rates to come down later in the year. So I think that's gonna be temporary. So if you see any opportunities to get a good rate, lock your rate, get it done, because sometimes those opportunities don't come back. What about the inventory? What you got on your end?
Guys, get y'all stuff in order. It's starting to heat up. Obviously not as hot as what we've seen, mind you, 2 years ago. Kind of, after COVID, that weird period after COVID, no one really knew what the markets was going to do. We're obviously not at the level of competition, 50, 60, 80, 100K above asking. It's starting to level out just a little bit. I'm not saying it's going down a lot, so all the millennials hoping for a crash, not anytime soon, unfortunately for you guys, but it's
That's all what we want to
I know,
hear, like a crash.
all y'all
right?
talking about a crash. I don't see it.
Yeah, me neither.
If it happens, tag me, tell me I told you so. on TikTok, whatever, Instagram, tell me, yo, you were wrong. But as I see it now, when I take clients into new construction, they'll give you a credit, but they're not bringing that price down. Why? Because those are what the actual comps are for the area. And it stinks for my people coming out of college, for my friends that are maybe changing jobs, looking into maybe switching areas, letting them go of that. If you had a house in that time, letting go of that 2.8% rate,
Yeah.
that 3.5% rate. The wifey wants a bigger kitchen. You want a bigger lot size. You're tired of staring at a retaining wall all day. You're going to have to pay the price. And that's kind of what it is right now. The market in North Texas, especially Collin County, where we usually are at, in parts of Dallas also, strong. Generally strong. There are some pocket areas that really don't really see much growth, probably because it's just either landlocked or there's not a lot of investment. But for the most part, most of the areas that we're in, we're seeing some growth. So we get your stuff in order. But obviously, that's what we're here for. We're going to be throwing out some tips and tricks on how to get that ready. Credit, huge thing right now. I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of debt. I mean, credit repair is probably bigger now than it was
Probably
with those applications you've been getting. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, probably. You know, I've seen a lot of stuff on credit. A lot of high car payments. I mean, you'll be surprised. Like a lot of people paying more than $1,000 for a single car payment, and maybe in a family they have two, three. I mean,
Dude,
that automatic.
that's the normal now.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's to each their own. I think you can count on, and as far as investment, you can count on real estate long term. Obviously, I'm sure you probably heard that from your parents, uncles, grandparents. They're not wrong. I mean, back then you buy your house in the 70s for $60K and a box of cigarettes. I mean, right now it's like what mortgages in the 400, 500, 600K for something that's newer in areas where people are wanting to stay in. So car payments, man, it's I think the biggest killers of an actual deal right now.
Maybe.
What are you seeing, man?
Just I mean, this is just big trucks. Like here in Texas, we like big trucks. 70, 80 grand.
Big
trucks. So
too,
that's sometimes if you don't have good credit and all that. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't buy your truck that you want, but if you're planning to buy a house, try to at least ask for some advice first. That way you don't lose a chance to buy a house.
Yeah.
Or we can guide you in a better way, right?
Yeah.
But car payments have jumped a lot. Of course, interest rates are up across the board. Like if in mortgages interest rates are high, of course, credit card payments are have
the APR getting up
high rates.
Yeah.
Of course, car notes have high rates. So that of course I tell my people, like, you qualify for a mortgage payment. The more you earn, the more you can pay. So it doesn't matter if you have a lot of debt, if you're making a lot of money. If you're making bank, get as much in debt as you want.
DTI, all that. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you're cash strapped, like if you need that extra $500, $600 a month to qualify, think about it twice if you're gonna go get that car payment.
And before you even plan on wanting to go shop, get with your loan officer, get with your real estate agent. And it sounds corny to say, because I mean, you think I want to get that call of like, hey, I'm planning on buying a car. Eventually I'm just going to be like, look, have you ran your numbers yet? I mean, it comes down to running a budget. I feel like not a lot of people are living within their means right now, and which is why you see reports all the time about.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think a lot happened, because of course in 2020, 2021, there was a lot of cash in the economy. So, a lot of people were getting the stimulus checks, and, everything was super cheap. Like even, rates were cheap, houses were cheap. So I think kind of people got used to that. And now we're getting, slapped in the hand, because exactly, because everything is more expensive, and some people cannot keep up with those expenses, right? So we have to be a little bit smarter in that. We're here for that. If you have any questions, comment below. If you want something for us to cover in the next episode, also you can tag us, and you can ask us, send us a direct message, because we're here for that.
Yeah. Comment down. I mean, if you have specific questions, maybe we'll address them in the next podcast. This is kind of very laid back, so I mean, we'll
Yeah.
probably next podcast got a big iPad, go over kind of what we're talking about.
And I think you can tell that it's our first episode because we're kind of all over the place, but we're gonna get there, a little bit better. We're a little bit more organized on our in everything. I know that we talk about the market update. We talk a little bit about how inventories are going. I know a lot of starter concessions right now. Starter concessions are going strong for houses. I've seen like my contracts. I think most of them have starter concessions. But what about local? Like, what do you have on? What is going on in Dallas? What's the sauce in Dallas?
What's the sauce, man? The sauce in Dallas. I mean, just in general, dude. It's either you get a concession or they try to bribe you with other materialistic things too. I've seen them trying to throw in like a washer and dryer instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
we get you a fridge, we get you this. In my opinion, cash is king. Give me that cash discount, I'll take it all day.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of questions in regards to concessions, in regards to like the interest rate.
Yeah.
They ask me how much can I buy down my rate? How expensive is that to do? I know there's a lot of factors that come to play, but I don't know
Yeah,
if you
will
have.
depend, and what I tell people, like 1 point doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lower your rate for 1%.
Mhm.
Like some people
Right.
think, hey, I'm gonna buy 1 point, so my rate's gonna go from 7 to 6. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't happen like that. So
Mhm.
you have to quote, like every single scenario is gonna be different. Like every single it's gonna be a different quote, but you can definitely buy it down. So if you have a rate that's at something, you can get it lower if you buy it. If you buy, pretty much you're prepaying the interest if you say that.
Mhm.
As far as prices and concessions, like some of my clients ask me like, do you rather have a lower price or you rather get that as a concession? And I take the concession right now because the difference on the payment, if you lower 10 grand on the price, is not gonna be that much. But if you get that right, if you get those $10,000 for closing costs, you can use that like right away.
Yeah.
You don't have them in the equity because in the equity of the house, you're not gonna do anything with that right away.
I have that convo with a lot of clients and future people that are planning on applying, kind of giving them an idea of what payment is, because a lot of them want to get quoted before they even apply, and it's kind of hard to give them a very generic thing because everyone's situation is different, right? But when we do talk about kind of what's my payment going to be like, it's crazy when I tell them, let's say, correct me if I'm wrong, on an average like 450K, right? I think this is what the average house is going for, maybe in Collin County, 450K. Every 10 to 20K, your payment is probably changing what,
I would
50
say
bucks, $80,
maybe, yeah, less than 100 for
less
sure.
than $100 for every 10 to 20K
Yeah.
in difference in payment, or sorry, sales price. So it's kind of like, do you want to come out of pocket right now to save that extra 80, $90? And sometimes you may need to, according
Yeah.
to Aaron. I mean, if
Yeah,
in case
for
you
that
need
for
to,
that I had
you know.
one particular client that he was adding $5,000, and the
Mhm.
price payment or the difference on the payment was $42.
$42 for
$42
$5,000.
for
Yeah.
5 grand.
Yeah.
So like the break even point, it
Mhm.
was gonna be more than 100 months
Mhm.
for him to start losing money on those 5,000.
100 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah. So better take the money right now.
Yeah. Get that assistance while you can. Like I said, cash is king. But we'll turn the page on that sauce.
Yes, sir. Because
I mean,
now what we
we'll
got?
be here all day, dude. We'll
Yeah.
be here all day. Talking about kind of inventory. Talked about that.
Yeah, and we don't want to worry. So we wanna talk about more interesting and fun stuff. What else we got? What else we got going? We got the Mavs playing on Thursday after the
He's gonna be
All-Star
talking
break.
about the Mavs.
I
Probably the
mean,
whole
why
thing if you
not?
can.
Of course, I was waiting to talk
What do
about
you got
that.
about the Mavs?
Yeah, on Thursday.
What are you thinking?
They play the Suns. I mean, right now with the trade deadline, we got those guys, Gaffer and PJ Washington. I think
According to Aaron,
we're going to
NBA
the
Finals.
at least to the Western Conference Finals. Mark my
At
words.
least. all my bettors, all my people in Vegas right now, lock this in. Give him 10% if in case they make it.
Yeah.
No, they're looking strong, dude. They're looking
They
good.
are. They are.
What,
They are.
5 games in a row? 6 games?
6 games. Yeah, I
Six
think
games,
6 or
one
7
in a row.
before. Yeah. So
Let's go, Mavs.
let's go,
I'm
Maps.
telling y'all.
What else we got?
See if the Rangers can bounce back. 2-peat.
Yeah.
See if they can do
Rangers.
that again.
Yeah, I think they signed back Dodis, right?
Yeah.
They did. Yeah. So
Huge contract, dude.
yeah.
Well, we don't want to take too much time, but I mean, we kind of talked a little about rates. We talked about a little bit about like competition, what people need to get in touch with. Obviously, everyone's situation is different from the other, so our contact info is going to be blasted onto this. Obviously, we work off of referrals, people who think that we're intriguing, people who think that, hey, these guys know what they're talking about. I have 9 years of real estate experience in the Metroplex. When I joined, I inherited a pretty good economy, 2014, 2015. I've been selling all through the downs and ups, COVID, so that was super weird, but I mean, that's another convo.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've just been doing it. Love doing it. Selling real estate, hablo español, so todos los que tengan en mente comprar casa, ahorita es el tiempo de escuchar, tener mucha información para que nos informemos. Y hacer las decisiones adecuadas y nada más, nomás hacerlas porque uno tiene que, sino hacerlas con la conciencia bien y con buena intención para que pues tengan los ahorros y tipos de deducciones, tipos de créditos que les podamos negociar para que pues tengan una casa de valor, algo que no se tenga que devaluar en áreas bonitas. The 3Bs, buenas, bonitas,
Buenas,
baratas.
bonitas,
So,
baratas.
we call that the podcast. Buenas, bonitas, baratas podcast. That's the sister podcast, so think about it. But yeah, man, that's the sauce. We'll probably do some other episodes in Spanish. La salsa, I like that.
Yeah, la salsa.
La salsa. But
sí, también la mayoría de mis clientes son actualmente son hispanos, sí, igual 100% bilingüe. Yo pues me identifico mucho, ¿no? Con mi comunidad, con personas, como dije, ¿verdad? De que hay familias que están bastante en la misma situación que nosotros, ¿verdad? Somos misma generación y creo que podemos ayudarles y brindarles una información bastante valiosa para el proceso de ustedes.
As you can tell by the accent, Central Latin America, Nicaragua, right?
Yeah,
and
Nicaragua.
Central Mexico, Guadalajara. So, I mean, apart from all that, any questions you guys may have, comment. It's our first podcast we're trying out here. But I mean, we're gonna really keep it laid back. Next podcast we'll have some people invited. Hopefully,
Yeah.
We got some big name people coming. Hopefully, and it's a very early stage in the podcast that we're gonna try and do and explore onto. Maybe some business owners, some new restaurants that are coming. I'm not a Keith Lee, but I mean, I'll review a couple of these restaurants
Yeah.
out here, right? And try them out and let y'all know about it. Kind of some new spots. But yeah, man, looking forward to blowing this thing up. Looking forward to bringing some more info to the community. Any kind of demographic, we're here to help. And so a bunch of resources right now than ever. Everything with AI included, which is crazy, getting into the real estate tech world. We're starting to incorporate that more a little bit. Dude, big things coming too with like SpaceX and like Tesla. And
Oh yeah, no, AI is gonna be in the next. I mean, it's big already, but I would say in the next 5 years.
the guy who got a chip and put into his brain already, the Neuralink, or whatever the heck it's
Yeah,
called.
and then supposedly that he can control the mouse with the brain or something. Yeah.
Dude, crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a post. Someone said that if he doesn't pay for the premium, he's gonna start getting commercials in his brain.
yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't doubt that. I think I saw a statistic where it's like there's more commercials now than actual like regular programming, movies and shows and whatnot. But it's crazy. Well, we'll wrap up the sauce. I don't know if you got anything.
I don't have anything. Just to finalize, I think. Do we finish it with a tip of the day?
Yeah, we got a tip of the day. I'm sure
I think the tip of the day. It's gonna be an easy one. A lot of people know it, but I'm gonna talk about credit card debt. Okay, so how do you
They ain't
manage?
ready to hear this one.
How do you manage credit card debt? A lot of people don't know, but you need to have it. I recommend at least 20% of your balance or less of that. So
Mhm.
let's say that you have a limit, of your limit.
Yeah.
If you have a limit of $1,000, $1,000, you have to keep it 200 or less every month. When
Mhm.
does it report? It doesn't report every day. A lot of people tell me, like, they go to my office and say, hey, I run your credit, and you have a limit of 1,000 and you have it 900, but then they show me a phone and say, no, Aaron, it's not 900, it's
Yeah.
300. I have it right here. It doesn't report every day. It
Right.
reports once a month. And it reports on, not usually, 100% of the time,
Mhm.
it reports when the statement goes out. The statement is going to match whatever is on your credit report.
You probably get this question too, which I get asked this a lot too. It's okay, so I've heard, right, what they hear, I shouldn't pay down my full balance because if I do, then my credit's not going to go as high, opposed to letting some balance carry over to the next statement. I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
myth. We'll go ahead and debunk this right now.
it's a myth. I tell my people to at least have something like a balance, because sometimes if you keep it zero, it seems like there's no movement on the credit card, like you're not actually using it, right?
Mhm.
So if you have $10, nothing, like they're not gonna charge you pretty much zero interest in a $5 balance. So
Mhm.
just keep a low, if you don't want to do it in zero, just keep it super super low, and that's it.
Credit is real weird. It's one of those things where it's where Aaron will tell me sometimes, "Hey, I need this client that's got a $3,000 balance to pay it down to what, like $2,350, and
Yeah,
his credit will go up 40 points for whatever reason."
yeah,
Opposed to someone who has like a $800 balance and he plans on paying it all off, right? They want to pay it all off. So where like his credit might even go up a point or two, and then the other person has like a higher debt,
yeah,
even though they paid it down to a certain number.
yeah.
He's your numbers guy.
But it's
I do all
credit
the
history. I tell people credit history. Like,
yeah.
your credit's not gonna, improve, overnight. Or when people tell me, hey, don't run my credit because it's gonna get lower,
Hmm.
or you're gonna ruin my credit. And I tell people, I'm not the responsible for ruining your credit. If your credit was low, it's on you.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
don't blame me when I run your credit and it's low. So that's it.
You pulling it is not going to break the deal.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
a lot of people take care of their credit. That's another convo. I want to
Yeah,
get into it, but yeah, they take care of it. But yeah, if it's we need to pull it. I mean, it has to be pulled in order to get kind of all your background, all your history on kind of what you owe.
and clients are better
Um,
off. Like I tell people, like if you don't have anything bad on your credit, you shouldn't be afraid of me
We'd rather
looking
be
at it.
upfront with you as a client than telling you, "Oh, you're approved. You make great money," but then down the road, it's kind of like
Yeah, and clients are better off too.
quit
Like,
co-signing for people's cars, dude.
yeah,
Oh my god, bro,
yeah,
killer,
yeah. Because when
killer
when
on the
when we
credit.
see people's credit, we can tell what to do,
Hmm.
what to pay, and
Yeah,
instead of just them guessing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But yeah, like we can talk about credit
yeah.
in
Well,
a full
okay.
episode.
Things
But
that we talked
yeah,
about. We plan on having some clients that we've helped. What kind of things they had to overcome, some certain hurdles, and they'll talk about that. And so we'll hopefully bring them on sometime soon. But again, Carlos with True Home signing out. Sauce Boy out. Sauce Boy 2, Aaron out.
Aaron,
Some more episodes coming soon. Again, just starting, but check us out next time. Thanks for checking in.
thank you.